but just every paragraph, you're going back, you're picking it apart. You're never going to be finished, especially if you're a person that picks apart things, right? So just get the whole thing out, then you can go back. Don't try to say, oh, I'll write when it comes to me. Just have a schedule. Every Sunday at this time, I'm going to write something. I'm going to put something down, even if it's just, one paragraph. Hi, I'm Michelle Hardy, and today I wanted to just talk to you about 5 habits that authors should really look at when they're writing their first book. Don't get caught up in all the hoopla. You really just want to write. So here's my take on it. One habit that authors should really consider is writing on a schedule. Don't try to say, oh, I'll write when it comes to me. Just have a schedule. Every Sunday at this time, I'm going to write something. I'm going to put something down, even if it's just, one paragraph, 300 words. That's really not a lot of words, but let's just say, for example, that's one page in a book, right? So just try to do it every week for about 30 minutes. Just writing your thoughts out on this particular topic that you've chosen for your book. Another habit that authors might want to consider is editing while you are writing. Don't try to do too much of this because it's just too much. You are already, in writing mode, and then you're thinking, okay, in between, I'll go back and do some editing. The key to first time authors is just getting all of it out. It can be painful, like walking on nails, so to speak, even though some people can't do that. So just try to get out as much information as you can. Don't try to edit while you're actually writing the book. If you want to, go back after each chapter and say, okay, now let me reread this to see if it makes sense, if it's flowing, if it's going the way that I want it to go. But just every paragraph, you're going back, you're picking it apart. You're never going to be finished, especially if you're a person that picks apart things, right? So just get the whole thing out. Then you can go back and just read it. And then, you've got resources on the tail end for this thing to help you so that you don't have to stress about editing your entire book. You cannot get advice from everyone because everyone is not for you. So, when you are writing your first book as a new author, make sure that you're only taking advice from, one or two people. If you know that the person that you're taking advice from has not really written a book, they don't read books, so they don't understand this whole concept of book writing and reading books, then it's good to say that you probably want to get just a few people, it can be your best friend, one person can be, and then have an editor, somebody that you can bounce this book off of, making sure that it makes sense. But asking a lot of people about what they think about your book, having too much input on your book, will sink the ship. So, you can only have one captain, and hopefully you're going to be that captain for this ship so that it doesn't sink. Another habit that authors do, and I've been known to do this too, is to ignore the feedback that you get. Now, this is kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, layered, or it can go one way or the other way. So, one way would be you're taking the advice of everyone. The other way is you're only taking the advice that you know is critical to your book. So be mindful to hear everyone that's giving you advice. So your book is complete and you've ran it by some beta readers. You went through your editor and maybe they didn't catch everything, or you just want to test the market. So be open to the feedback. I am one to say, hey, if your book is the way it's written, that's the way it's written. And so we can always go back and look at it again, tweak it a little bit and upload it again, be published again. But because I want you to have full control of your book, but I do want you to be open to the feedback that you do get because you do want a great product. So when you are giving your book to someone to read, just tell yourself, okay, whatever they come back with, I'm going to look at every suggestion, everything that they've said, and I'm going to think, is this detrimental to my book? Does it affect the story? If they say they can't understand it, it doesn't flow, then yeah, that's something huge, especially if two people say it, right? Then you really want to go back to the drawing board. So just be open. Don't ignore the feedback that could really make or break your book. Something else to consider when you are a first time author and you want to have good habits, but a bad habit is comparing yourself to other authors. I know you're going to be looking at other books that are in your same genre that are bestsellers, and you're going to be doing all of that research to look for everything that you could possibly do for your book, right? So you're looking at other authors that are successful, but don't compare yourself to them because this is your book. So it's not necessarily that yours has to be like theirs. They are their own unique person. So it's going to come out the way that it's going to come out for them. I mentioned this in another video, and I have a friend who has a book, and there are a lot of drawings, and then there's some writing as well. And so that's their unique way of doing their book. And so I think it's beautiful. Some people may not think that, but the book is not for everybody, right? And so your book may be that way too. So don't compare yourself when you're thinking, oh, I'm writing this type of book and it needs to be this type of way because this is what my audience usually likes. Because you never know. Your audience may like that book, but then they get this other book that they didn't even know that they really needed until they got it, right? So that's something to consider, right? So don't compare yourself, don't put yourself in a box when it comes to this book because it's going to be great and you're going to bring your whole self with it. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing this video. Take care.